Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, where today, listen, I am feeling like absolute garbage, and I'm just telling y'all that so that if there's a sudden jump cut or something, it's probably because of that. It's probably because I all of a sudden needed to be somewhere else on account of my chronic stomach issues. Fun. I'm having a great time lately. Anyway, welcome to the Warhammer. I think I had said that we were going to attack Saber Mountain this turn, but our units aren't quite fully healed, and this is really frustrating. Like, this unit is missing 1 health, I think, but that is keeping it from being at 3 cannons. So we're missing 2 full cannons here. We're missing a handful of ogres. I think we're going to take one more turn on this.
Hunter.
Let's go ahead and have at the garrison one more time. Okay. We were going to miss eventually. Let's throw another 15% casualties on there. We'll try it one more time next turn. Let that replenishment complete. So, Greasus Goldtooth is going to go and devour this camp. And then it says decisive victory. But y'all gotta know, I'm a little distrustful. There's no way, right? There's no way it's going to do meaningful damage to us here.
The late harvest begins.
Lost 141. Truly insane. There's just... Okay. There's just actually no way that happened. But fine, whatever. Alright, and now what I want to do is get into ambush mode, I think, near the city, just in the pass, really, somewhere here, with the hope of dragging this enemy army. Oh, did I only need 5 points to open up rally? Well, shoot, let's grab rally, because I do want to push to stand your ground. We'll come back for the rest of Beasts in the Mountains.
More spoils. Nice and shiny.
The best version of this, of course, is Bull Mallet Hands coming out of the settlement. Is Og... No, Og is not tired. Og should try to get rid of one of these assholes.
They will blister.
Nope, never mind. Cool, great, awesome. Goff is looking for the location to put up the camp. It would be so helpful if it could just, tell me where. Okay, here works. I'm gonna drop it. We desperately need this camp. Also, we desperately need loot piles. Okay, and Goff is gonna recruit a ton of units very quickly here. Is going to replenish a ton. We do not actually have the money for recruitment. We are very poor. What I probably will do is just encamp. Well, how far out does this go? It goes quite a ways. All right. Here's the thing. First of all, I didn't realize that this here was controlled by Siege. We should probably do something about that.
Master Butcher.
Never mind. We cannot do something about that. But I am going to come back down here now. We'll benefit from the camp. And we'll potentially be able to provide pressure. I could march, right? Yeah. We may as well. I'm still not going to be able to get anywhere close to this. I was kind of thinking it would be nice if we could provide Greasus with some backup. I'm going to do this instead of the ambush. I don't think the ambush is going to work. There's all these agents around here and stuff. We're just going to take the opportunity to go back to full, because we're probably going to need to be back at full. All right, you're not going anywhere. Malgut is... We're going to attempt the ambush move. It's probably not actually going to work, right? Because they see through our ambushes extremely regularly, even at much, much higher ambush percents. So they're probably going to see through this. But if it did work, and we got one of these armies to come out of position, we could potentially defuse this whole situation. If we don't pull that off, it's going to be really ugly. Targog needs some more healing time. This army's torn up enough that they're probably not a real threat to us. But we definitely need to stay in the settlement and heal as much as possible. Having a little bit more money would actually be, like, really helpful. Alright, and we have received the notification that it will be time. It will be roar time soon. We don't know exactly how soon, but soon. Greasus has 100 meat remaining. We might have to spend a couple of turns near a camp before we can actually leave for the Chaos Realms. Okay, they won, but they didn't. Yeah. Wait, how did they attack and win, but that army is still at full strength? Huh. It looks like they maybe have not seen through the ambush. I think we still had the flag. Ah, well, it doesn't matter. They ended their turn without moving forward anyway. That army almost has its wizard. Yeah, I want to take a moment to free that settlement from Tzeentchian control, if only because I'm sure it's leaking chaos corruption all over the place. But gosh, my armies are busy lately. We have so much. We have so much we have to do all of the time. After we deal with the Yeti camp, that can be our next priority, and then we can talk about finally moving in on Cathay in a real and organized way. Also, hooray, income buildings. So Gofk only gained 7 meat. Yeah, this camp is very undeveloped, right? We do have to be a little cautious. They won't be able to reach it with a normal move.
Must feast.
Where's the edge of the region? All the way up there. Okay.
Boss of bosses.
I wonder if the best play here might be to just run like way up here. Is the end of that movement? The end of that movement is within camp range. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna run Greasus all the way up here. What we really want to do is convince Bull Mallet Hands to come out of the settlement. I don't know if this is going to result in that, but it's at least a possibility.
They will know burning.
If he doesn't feel like he has to defend Yeti Peak again, he may go after Blood Peak like he did last time.
Do what I say.
I probably want to.
Make sure I don't die.
Oh gosh, we're out of money. Well, okay, hold on a second. I'll come back for this week.
Or your dinner.
Because we are going to do a battle here, but we're going to want to do a hero ability first.
My face.
So Maldig. 652. Damn it. Are we going to do a battle anywhere else? Is there a place where I can make some money? It's a Grog right there. They added a single hero unit to that army, which is not meaningful to us. Targog's not going anywhere. Malgut, though. Malgut might. So they did advance an army.
It's what I want.
Well, I think, like, if we attack this army and it falls back, I think it's going to end up in reinforcement range of the temple. So it doesn't really do a lot for us to do that.
Eternal fire.
Except that it leaves us out of position.
Firebelly on the move.
Ogre tyrant.
I guess I'm just gonna stay in ambush mode and hope that it works. And that means that no, there isn't anything we can do to actually make any money.
Stinking world. Butcher in chief.
We can take a second to do this. This isn't going to be worth anything, but we should raise it. Oh, you know what? Actually.
Consume all that can be consumed.
Whoa, buddy, where are you going? That was a really long fall. Look at how far he fell back from that. That's wild. Was that enough? Was that enough to allow the hero action here?
Slayer of cave beasts.
Nope, just barely not. Well, shit.
More. God, what?
All right, I guess we got to just go for it. We made this as easy as possible. It should be a pretty straightforward victory. So they have a couple units of cav, 5 units of archers. All right. I do think we are kind of out of time on this. Like, we kind of have to drop this and then get home. I'm going to want to sack it. That's the thing that's going to yield the most money. But I think it probably is the case that it will be more helpful to us in the longer term to just burn the damn thing down and get running. Because otherwise we have to stay an extra turn to execute the raise next turn, and then we're a turn behind on running back and dealing with portals, and seems unwise. We should probably just take it here. I'm not expecting this battle to be super difficult. Although I do think that this lineup is maybe not like optimal for winning a siege battle. They're not going to have any proper walls or anything. This is going to be another one of these just like a slightly raised bit of land. Not any like walls that you can stand on or target for destruction. It is kind of funny that we have this ogre wall destruction spell that only works on well-built, strong walls. We can't use it to knock over like pressboard and sticks. Right? Because it should absolutely be possible to just like punch this down and climb up this very slight step. You know what? I kind of do want to channel magic. Let's see if we can pull some stuff into the starting pool. Nope. Total power. You have channeled the winds of magic. We have not, in fact, done that at all. Okay, so no spells this time, it looks like. That's alright. Our lord is an okay fighter. So there's relatively easy access to a point back here, although we'd have to... There's only one way to get to it, really. So they'll be able to defend that. Yeah, this looks like an approach, but it isn't. Oh, here's one. Never mind. That's totally accessible. And then we have 2 entrances here to this middle area that has the central point and then the run up to there. And these, I imagine, control tower locations that are, yeah, pretty useful. This one, what does this one even do? Oh, it controls the tower location that's over here. Okay. I'm not really that worried about that. Let's put a bunch of ogres over here, actually, because my suspicion is we can get them to build that tower and then just like run through here real fast and get away from it. Not have to put up with it existing. I definitely want to have some force. So you have to be with these. And have some force back here. I mean, we kind of want to divide the army into 4 pieces, right? But I also want to bait them into a bad build. It's a lot to ask. So if we just put like 1 unit of ogres on each of these entrances, that's, I guess, something. It's probably enough to...
I ain't no gobbo.
Okay, y'all can be group 2, y'all can be group 1. I really want the bulk of the ogres over here. And like this is just the side that's really awkward to attack.
Lead belcher.
Or the side that's really awkward to defend, because this is where all my gunpowder is.
Grand cannon.
I don't think these cannons are going to be very useful, frankly.
Dragon Guard!
All right, I guess let's see what they do. So a little bit of archery. They built center, and no, they didn't build up here. We did not convince them to waste a lot of resources. That said, that center build point, it is controlled by this, right? Yes, okay, it is. That center build point is like extremely vulnerable. They may have, in fact, screwed up very badly here. Basically, charge these guys. That's really all you need to do. So they set up really heavy on the backside of the area for reasons I'm not 100% clear on. We might be able to take this anyway. I think we just abandon this side. Just like move around over here. Yeah, Winged Lancers and Kosovite Dervishes. I think we are going to have a problem cracking that. The question is, which direction do we want this force to move? I think the answer is over this way. The other thing we could do is we could try to just stand here, see if they come at us, because they didn't build anything to shoot at us. Yeah, we just see if they come at us, and if they do, we can probably fight them, honestly, if we can draw them out. And then, you lot, you know, this actually seems very straightforward. Let's run up and take control of this, because we probably can. They probably won't actually be able to do anything about that. Oh, this is a unit of Sargard, though. We could... Y'all, just like spread out, yeah, kind of narrowly here. We probably actually do want to use guns on this. Our poor little Noblars are not going to get anything accomplished. And then without changing your formation, let's maybe like... Huh, it just... It is so hard to issue formation move orders in this game. There we go. Okay. You're supposed to be able to tilt this. There we go. That's how that goes. Do something like that. Just shoot down that alleyway. I don't know. It's going to take them such a long time to get into position that that's probably not going to be meaningful. These two definitely had orders. Oh, but they had an attack order and their target disappeared. Their target was simply unmade by reality. So it seems like they just are not interested in doing anything over here.
More's right hand.
We're kind of keeping them milling back and forth.
I hear it's cool.
Okay. If they're going to abandon to make my life difficult over here, we are absolutely going to push that. And two of these units took significant damage somehow, whatever. Yeah, I'll come stand here. They do have a lot of units. More units than they are. It feels like, just like in general, it feels like a much larger number of units than they are supposed to have had, based on what we saw in that garrison. I can't tell what their move is here.
Jump and clave.
All right, let's just push that way. Okay, Sargard got chopped up real bad. Let's send a unit of... Oh, never mind. Actually, they're bringing in the dervishes. Let's do that to protect this side. And then you can put a little pursuit on there. And yeah, the cannons... Sure, just hang out, just be nearby. We can catch some of these reinforcements that are trying to funnel in through here.
Bring us meat! Follow the Moor's call!
The troops have uncovered hidden foes because somehow there's even more of these enemies than there seems to be. Yep, and everybody's always at full leadership, no matter how badly they're being beaten, no matter what's happening in the battle. Because Kislev, that's just the way Kislev works, it turns out. Totally forgot to hit that, which does matter. Put some magic in the pool. I would love to be able to run up the hill and just take the central control point. That would be very helpful.
Fresh me!
Yeah, their units keep like stealthing and unstealthing randomly. We're losing sight of them in really weird ways.
Cannons!
What is this cannon unit doing? It's certainly not setting up where I told it to set up. Alright, excellent cannon fire. Center point claimed. They've rolled the cavalry around to here. I don't think that's good play. I think they're going to regret having done that. So they're 22 seconds off of finishing this tower when it is probably too late to matter. On this side, I mean, I'm going to have this unit of Noblars just go claim this point by themselves. And then the lead belchers, and there's not much point. I guess what the lead belchers can do is they can come up here too, just with different intent. In fact, I'm going to have a unit of lead belchers do what caps this, and you can move up here with the intention of providing cavalry cover for the lead belchers.
Serve the ogres! Let's go, Noblars! The possession is ours. The meat wants it back.
An interesting choice to just run their Ice Witch into combat with an ogre.
Hungry!
I have to say that doesn't feel very smart. Let's run back here real quick. I am going to throw up the miscast thing on her. Hopefully we can get her to burn some of her own HP. Right after she cast, it went off, it looks like.
Supreme Watery!
Boy, they really surrounded him on that as much as they could. Not necessarily great play. So y'all do that, because these Noblars need to be doing other stuff. I mean, honestly, these Noblars need to be just getting up here. You have well and truly broken them. You're massively overdoing it. Get up here and we'll see what we can make of that. I'm a little worried about these ogres up against Sargard. Just standing. Yeah, 63 defense. And we're not actually going to be able to do any damage. We need to get out of the way. It does look like they're not going to defend this push at all, though. And I'm not going to be... The lead belchers aren't going to be needed to deal with the cav. So you just get all the way back up here. We'll try some counter charges, but let's let the cannons get a little hold of them first. Why did you just stop running?
Master of butchery!
It does seem like we have as much magic as we're ever going to get. Well, this is almost recharged. That put... Okay, there's a little bit in the reserve. They put a little bit in. So the Patriarch is the thing over here that's still healthy. Alright, I'll just run up and grab that. I suspect they're gonna change their opinion on how well this is going once that happens.
Crunch their skulls!
Why do my ogres just not want to stay in combat with targets?
It is secured.
Even more damage. Devour them. We should definitely reform here. So this control point is ours. I don't know that we're going to be able to get a real clean angle firing down. We definitely want to just have the Celestial Dragon Guard push these archers. Right, yeah, nothing's going to come for us from over here. Let's have one unit of ogres break off and just cap the last point. May as well. And we're gonna need to do some separating and charging here. I was not paying attention to this for too long.
Here we go. Where's the meat?
Yeah, run across this trap. Eat this trap point so that it doesn't affect the other lead belchers.
South, boys.
Alright, my units, for the most part, actually kind of followed orders and separated there.
When do we eat? Looking for me.
See if we can get them to push through.
Master. Ogres.
Okay, that's working.
I'm on the move. Follow the Moor's call.
Let's let them separate properly so we can get a charge bonus, and then... Okay, that's the end of that, I think.
Wind supper. Rampage this way. Ogres attack.
Ice Guard with glaives. That's actually a really bad attack. Don't do that.
Serve the ogres.
Okay, they panicked and
Cleaver will
decided that my orders are bad. I could see how they might reach such a conclusion, frankly.
I seek Greasus.
Okay, we took a little bit of a beating. I mean, I knew that wasn't going to be particularly clean. Yeah, honestly, looking at the actual numbers on that loss, that's not too bad at all. This is very recoverable. We just have to put ourselves in a position where we can fight the battle to close a portal, and I think that'll probably only be like a turn or two of replenishment. Especially since it turns out ogres with guns, pretty powerful. What if you could have the best of both worlds? All of your units are terrifying monstrous infantry who hit super hard, and they move faster than normal infantry, and also each one of them is carrying a cannon. I think the ogres are really interesting, like the composition of this faction and the way the faction unfolds as you move up the tech tree over the course of a campaign is really interesting. It feels quite different from a lot of the other factions, where you sort of like, with a lot of factions, it feels like for the most part what you are doing is getting better at the things you can already do, and maybe sort of like getting slightly, you're building upward, and you're also kind of building outward, where you're getting like different versions of the things you're good at that have slightly different niches. But the ogres feel like they transform from a fully melee force to a more mixed, partially gunpowder force in a way that's really neat. Okay, burning that is still worth 2,500. That was worth doing.
Hunter.
And then because we didn't have you hero action, you actually can full move.
Scent.
They were on the way to interfere.
Ogre slew a master.
So let's get out of here before they catch us. We should probably grab... So I wanted extra ingredients, and now we've got it. And I feel like maybe the next thing is healer. Be really good for this army to have a good replenishment rate.
This will assist my recipes.
Okay, so you're all out of movement. Switching to march mode doesn't actually help. Now that we have a little bit of money,
My cleavers proved adequate.
I don't think that changes what we want to do with any of the other armies. Did I do your hero action for the turn already? I did.
Flame trial. Ogre tyrant.
We could just go up to 2 right now. We can't really... There's not a great, like, army building, but you can recruit troops directly to one of these things, right? Okay, let's do that. We're also going to build the bonus meat building. All of our ogres deserve some time in the bonus meat room. And then we could pick up the camp pot as well. Yeah, for the bonus replenishment actually seems very worthwhile. Okay, and we're still working toward having another camp which we can deploy over here in the lower right. Village of the Tigermen definitely needs this building, which we cannot quite afford. Do I want to cancel one of these upgrades, maybe?
I'll eat any challenger.
Yeah. Getting this garrison building in place, definitely valuable. 4 turns. All right, well, that's probably not even going to happen then. But I do think we should get on it. Let's give it the chance. And we have enough money now to at least pull in a few more units. Okay. I think the bonus meat building is more important than the bonus replenishment building in that camp. It turns out there are an awful lot of oracular armies in my territory, or at least near my territory. Oof. I gotta tell y'all, stomach problems are just... what a bummer. So we flew through the northern province's turn really fast there. Did they do anything? Okay, Bull Mallet Hands has been drawn out of Yeti Peak. And I think it should be the case that we can just hit Yeti Peak with Greasus. And we can just burn that down right now. Or rather, claim it. And then Bull Mallet Hands has to respond basically immediately. We will probably... So we have that Sinch army coming in from the north. That's a little awkward. We can move... what's his name? Targog's army down south to defend the Blood Peak against Bull Mallet Hands, who can't quite reach it to attack it this turn. But we probably do have to kill this army because Kairos Fate Weaver is right fucking there.
Tyrant of the tribe.
Titan's Notch does have a garrison building, but it's the wrong garrison. It's the growth garrison building. I mean, we did need growth here as well.
Want everything.
Alright, first things first, definitely need to keep pushing up on the blue line.
To the boss.
Yeah, let's hope they don't fall back, because I really need to... Of course they do. Well, they have to die, but also I really need to run to the south. This is one of those ones where we're going to get totally screwed. Casualties medium is ridiculous. Let's do this manually. How? How would the casualties be medium? By what mechanism? They have a scary dragon here. No doubt about that. They have flying cavalry knights. They have spawn. This army's elite. It's just very small. I don't know if these excuse me, I don't know if these saber tusks are going to be any good at all in this battle. It kind of feels like there isn't anything on this force that they can actually win a fight against. But we have enough units that they don't necessarily have to be directly engaged with anything. They can definitely provide a flank. Man, the magic on all of my armies is all screwed up right now. Okay, so they're going to push us with flyers really hard, and there's not really anything we can do about that. I'm going to put the Noblars on this side. We're going to approach through here with the Noblars, because I want the spawn to get caught up on them instead of getting caught up on ogres. And then y'all are very fast. I'll give you that. This can be a wrap around over here. We can do a lot of pushing up this side with ogres. We have a lot of just kind of like mediocre to bad ogres in this army.
When do we eat? Cuts out.
We should probably have a second group of ogres who's doing something else. Actually, you know what? Let's have this second group of ogres be over here executing this move. And we'll put the saber tusks further away. Saber tusks can be like... can plan to take a much more roundabout route than these units, which will probably be running directly in. Because they are so fast.
Ogre fire belly. Hungry. Kill him. Eat him. Steal anything that shines through him.
They can afford to play very defensively here. They're not really under any pressure.
Follow the fire. Biggest in the tribe.
You lot, it's like, start moving up. But it's gonna take a second for that position to be ready. I'm gonna move the saber tusks up. We're gonna rely to some extent on the fact that they can be very fast and just not put them into real position yet. And with this army and this amount of magic, it's probably going to be a lot of like cascading fire cloaks and stuff. We do have the power to shoot some big damage at grouped up units, but this is not really like, they don't really have a lot of tightly grouped stuff. Okay, Golden Hounds of Gehenna, basically a complete miss.
The more coals.
They're kind of not reacting to our approach at all. They will.
Tyrant of the tribe. Me. For the masters. Where's the way? Stop them! Yeah! Follow the boar's call.
Alright, let's break some stuff.
Killing time.
The time has come for the breaking of stuff. Some of these Noblars might survive, maybe. So I really want to throw like the fire cloaks onto units of ogres that are actually engaging with the Chaos Knights, I think. Be a little bit cautious with the bull, or with the caster himself. So we are all up on the Exalted Flamer. The Doom Knights will probably go down to the combination of ogres being punchy and saber tusks having their charge bonus. Hopefully. They have a very good armor and stuff, but these hits are hard. Doesn't matter if they're mostly blocked by armor, hopefully.
Fire is life.
He's decided he wants to fight. Fucking fine. Let's go for it. Disregard my orders more or less entirely. I will say that there's a lot of cowardice being practiced here by our enemies. A lot of panicking and running.
This way. Find him and kill him.
Okay, that's kind of what I was hoping would happen, that they would come back in and we'd be able to drop in on the backside. Those are some very fast units. Really, like, annoyingly fast units. And extremely good at repositioning. Okay, push the back of this. That's the Exalted Pink Horrors. Is the Flamer dead? Yeah, I guess the Flamer's dead. We may not actually be able to affect their lord at all. That's fine. It's not a big deal. The thing, the way we're going to deal with that is, once all the ground units are dead, he has to come down and fight, or he forfeits. And that's not like the most compelling plan in the universe, but it is the only plan we have, because this army does not have almost any ranged attacks. One thing we can do, I suppose, is shoot fireballs at him. It's probably not worthwhile, though. Alright, we don't want to do big area attacks, because they're going to hurt us more than anyone else. Yeah, I guess we can fireball him now because he's going to have to come down pretty soon. I didn't want to do it too early because I didn't want to give his shield time to replenish. Wow, it did get all the way through the shield. The enemy is forced to land an attack or surrender. Actually, he has chosen to simply disintegrate in midair. Okay, that works, I guess. So what we really need to do is get the other garrison building up. I kind of want to have both of them on that settlement, and then we could probably have Targog fall back and play a little bit of portal defense and stuff in our northern region while we're waiting for things to resettle. But unfortunately, we don't have the space in that settlement. We had to destroy something, then start building the other garrison building, which is that's going to be the work of multiple turns, and Kairos Fate Weaver is definitely going to be upon us before then. There's some garrison in the place that Bull Mallet Hands is going, and his army's not full size. Maybe the garrison can just hold. Ogres are not particularly good at settlement defense, but also the AI is not particularly good at attacking settlements, so maybe we'll be fine. That is quite a lot of money. And these other rewards suck, so let's take even more money.
Tyrant of the tribe. No time for summer.
We'll move back as far as we can, and we'll just hope. So this is a 14-unit army. We have an 11-unit garrison at Blood Peak. That's probably insufficient. Also, this is happening and could actually be kind of an annoyance to the camps. We will have to do some troop recruiting on the camps, I guess. It's a bummer, but almost certainly the only thing to do here.
More. God, my guts. Seeking game.
So, this is a 5-unit army.
Ogre
The
tyrant.
defenses at the Mount Crag camp are currently
Do what I say.
not up to the task of dealing with a 5-unit army.
I only serve the
I'm a little worried that he might actually be able to reach it. If he leaves raiding mode, we might not be able to...
gut is law. Make sure I
This
don't
recruitment
die.
may take too long. What do I even want? I guess we don't really have a lot of choices. Let's get some... So the dual weapon thing is not actually particularly valuable here. Yeah, I guess the Iron Fist...
More meat for my
I guess that's how we'll do it. And if we get a turn, if they don't attack Mount Crag's camp this turn, I think that'll be enough to hold. Gorger Rock can definitely defend itself against a small army like that. Carrick Vrag is defended. It is annoying to have to pay all that extra upkeep, though.
Greasus, the shockingly outbeast.
So we do not, in fact,
The tyrant
have the
knows
movement to
best.
get all the way down there. We can, however, just run into the pass and
Take it!
ambush mode, hopefully well enough.
Take the meat by surprise.
Actually, I wonder, should I reveal Goff to make it look like we're pushing, to make him turn around so we don't have to worry so much about defenses over here? And then he turns around, runs back into Yeti Peak, and we hit it with both armies simultaneously, which is a thing he just, like, cannot defend against. I don't really want to, though. I don't want Goff to to not be full. I definitely want to spend at least one more turn in the area of the camp. So maybe what we do is... maybe we just turn around and head north.
March on for the
I'm going to trust Greasus to handle it. Greasus can handle it. We need to start putting up pressure here. All right. Malgut, what's going on over here? Okay, they're reinforcing even further and just sitting at the edge of my territory and raiding me.
Ogre viability. Such trinkets I will uncover.
ogre tyrant.
I mean, they're giving us time to finish the build. That's a lot of money for a relatively small outcome. So they are like, they're recruiting. There's nothing we can really do about that. There are no reinforcements coming. So yeah, I have some concerns here. I think let's push this upgrade because I think we're going to want to build proper garrison buildings near Mount Thug. I think we're going to lose the Village of the Tiger Men. Unless they do something very silly indeed. Could happen. For some reason, Targog is level 19 now. And he has become renowned and feared, which
Belongs to the boss.
allows him to take one step further on the world map. Awesome.
Survivor of the flame trial.
And Mighty Og will not block this army because we're broke. Mighty Og will run back here.
What's over there?
Because again, we're probably going to deal with portals and stuff soon. Who else has points? Oh, Grout in Targog's army. That makes sense. Let's grab our magical reserves. We almost have Arcane Conduit.
The meat cooks itself here.
And the game's just like, hey, why don't you gain a substantial income? Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Okay, they did attack the camp. Well, I just can't see how we could possibly win here, but I do think we have to try. This is really annoying. We're gonna rebuild this camp, and it's gonna be basically exactly the same. But we're gonna lose a lot of income in the interim. Oh, we do get the settlement map at least. Maybe we can get some towers up. Yeah, I still don't see that allowing us to win the battle, though. I'm really curious what they're going to do with their Doom Knights. Having a really, really fast flying unit does give you some interesting options in a settlement battle like this. Also, it's just cool. It's just a cool unit. It's a cool thing to get to fly around on a big disc. So they've completely committed to an attack from one angle. I guess they don't really have enough units to spread out. Oh, we don't get any supplies to start with, though. Which means that this is not actually any better than the situation I thought we were in. Well, let's try to get them to come inside the walls. We will not allow them to draw us out. Why can I not? There we go. Try to get them to come in so that we can execute some kind of ogre charge against them. And we have a tyrant, you know? He's a good fighter. I want to make sure we don't get shot at from outside the wall by the pink horrors. And we are gathering supplies. It's a shame we didn't think to do that before the fight.
You're out of the tribe.
So when we get to 500, we could drop at least the most basic tower. That'll help a little. We do have some gluttony available. Gosh, they're fast.
Ruler of the tribe.
And yeah, just like riding in on a magic flying disc. It's very cool.
My command.
I do not think there is a version of this where they beat the tyrant in straight up combat. Where are y'all going? Yeah, the enemy's right there.
We's ogre mates.
But like help though? I don't know what they're doing. Also, this is annoying. It's annoying that they actually have the range to pull that off. See, the disengage re-engage behavior that these Doom Knights are able to perform is super annoying. Okay, so that's some smart magic. Gotta give him that. That's not gonna work. There's no way that works. We'll throw the regen on these units, but I don't know. Maybe it makes more sense to do I'm gonna build the tower back here.
The undefeated ruler.
Get him! Alright, that's some real damage. They are totally going to win against my tyrant, though. I really... Oof, 90 seconds. Criminy. You can see he's overcasting because he took some miscast damage there, which is interesting. Yeah, we don't really have a lot of like strategy we can apply here. Just kind of... We're going to break these melee down if we want to have any chance of being alive when the tower finishes. Are Noblars going to win in melee combat against pink horrors? Probably not, right? But at least it stops them from shooting at the ogres.
Upright. Hold together. Bring on.
That said, the ogres have other problems. Okay, my whole army's surrendering. It's probably the end of that right there. Had we been allowed to start the battle with a tower in this position, maybe, right? Maybe?
When do we eat? Swarm together.
Probably not still. It was worth a shot.
Do what I say.
Tyrant is doing his best, but he is very outnumbered. And I don't think they're going to recover. Never mind, my warriors are rallying. Well, if we have them run over to that, though, they're gonna break the second they start getting shot at again. Let's regen the tyrant. He's actually holding okay in combat. And this tower absolutely has the range to be dealing damage to this stuff.
Stop. Take it all.
Try to loop around here. Yeah, that's bad news.
Get out.
That is a shame. We were making a lot of money off of that camp. Where do they even get just like... It is wild to me that the Oracles of Scenes are able to attack us from so many different directions simultaneously. Like, what is the construction of their force? Now that we have a better sense of what we're doing on our Western Front, we kind of like picked a point to stop expanding. When we rebuild this camp in a minute, we can rebuild it behind Carrick Frag. I thought we were going to use it to push forward more, but that's when I was still considering just eating that tiny ogre faction to our northwest instead of making friends with them. So we don't really need the new version of the camp to be that far forward. 111 kills. Criminy. An army that is composed largely of Noblars is basically just dead. The good news is we'll get a refund on the recruitment cost of all those troops, since they didn't actually even get through a single turn of recruitment. So we'll have some money to work with, but I think our income is going to look not so good next turn. Yeah, none of the settlements in this area are at all vulnerable to an army of that size, so. And soon we will have an army in place to punish them and rebuild. And then on this side, it looks like things are in a really good spot for the moment on the sort of like the west side of the Cathayan campaign. Okay, so we did not get the ambush, but they still did. It's like there are 3 different states of ambush. One is the enemy army sees you before you even execute it, or sees you before they even approach, and your army's just like normal. The one we've seen several times fire is... This is very strange, though. Huh. The one we've seen fire several times, of course, is they get totally drawn in. And then there's this weird middle one where, like, they didn't see you coming, but you don't get to ambush position on the battle. Like, you still get to jump them. So this army has sky lanterns. They have a lot of archers. We should be able to do this, I think. We have iron blasters where they have cannons. Their cannons are going to be a little bit less effective against us. Yeah, we should be able to do this, I think. Definitely eat. We can afford to eat. It is going to be a little bit ugly because they have a... In a normal battle, they have a much more powerful ranged corps than we do, and one that's definitely effective at longer range. But if we can just get a little bit of distraction going on them, or if we can get the fire belly to drop flaming head or whatever through the middle of their ranks. This fire belly doesn't have flaming head, right? We took the buff skill, but we have the other AoE damage thing, so it'll be fine. I hope it'll be fine. I don't actually feel very confident of that. We may lose. If we lose this battle, at the very least, the entire eastern front of the Cathayan campaign is reset. Right, like we have to totally go home. Now, it is worth noting they're coming to us, so we can play this back a little bit in a position where we have some advantage. Said I want to be far enough forward that I can actually shoot at them. Well, I guess we don't really need to be like... We can take advantage of the big open space because they have to come to us or else they can't win the battle.
Defenders of Cathay.
Alright, so we have this stuff going on. We can put a lot of our units just kind of in the trees here. Push the enemy from the trees when they start coming at us. That is not where... That's closer to where it said you were going to appear, I guess.
Boys.
Obviously, these units are just going to be stealth the whole time either way. There we go.
Do what I say.
Yeah, just set up the core over here. We could probably have our tyrant with the troops in the trees. And then the hunter hangs out with the ranged. That makes sense. That's not at all where... There's something going on with this battle map where the positions that it shows you it's going to place your troops and the positions where it's actually going to place them are very different. And I don't know why. You go here. Okay. So yeah, we may be able to get a good flamestorm off, potentially, and consume some of their ranged units that way. But like, they attacked us, so. Well, wait, no, this probably counts as us attacking them. We are the ones who probably have to march. Well, that does complicate things slightly. That's right, because it's like we are set up as though the long-term thing here is we were in position and they walked up to us, and that's how the battle started. But they didn't actually attack, right? Despite the fact that that distinction is kind of ridiculous. I guess you just probably just stay really close. But these units probably can't afford to wait in the trees like this.
Where's me master?
They're reshuffling, but they're not moving up, so we probably have to actually go closer because these iron blasters are still out of range. We don't have to go too much closer.
Sinyang's faithful, set by dragons.
You actually maybe should be on this side. Let's swap the order here as we're approaching the like uneven terrain. Also, you gotta go with them.
Harmony, child of the volcano.
Yeah, Noblars are slow enough that we probably just have to expose them.
Following the saints. The biggest boss. Biggest in the tribe. I'll go myself.
These ogres can probably stay in the trees, though.
Hunter moving. Shaman of fire. Thoughts in harmony.
Stone and steel, bringing harmony.
Seeking Cathay's foes.
They are very concerned with a culturally reductive and probably like. I mean, listen, I'm not an expert on Chinese culture. I'm really curious about how players of Chinese descent feel about the portrayal of Cathay here, because like it definitely feels reductive in a way that could be offensive to me. But also, I'm not the one who would be offended, right?
The more calls.
Shoot for like these units. Definitely guard mode as well. Don't go anywhere. Do not chase.
When do we eat? Find him and kill him!
Wow, really? Those crane gunners are able to fire from there? And wow, each one of their projectiles, like there's such a small number of them that it's impossible for them to do anywhere near that much damage, you would think. I guess each one of their projectiles is able to kill multiple bodies? Well, that being the case, y'all probably have to back the fuck up. They just have the one unit of crane gunners, but that is a real problem. Maybe we need to advance on them a little bit. Yeah, you lot just have to back up for the moment. We could try. I'm gonna run the fire belly up a little bit. They have some cav, but not like a lot. Like they probably won't be able to chase us too effectively. Ooh, the range on this spell is real short.
Bring us me. Take it all! Rampage this way!
Okay, great big fire tornado eats a lot of the crane gunners. That's something.
Looking for me!
I mean, at this point, we do have to advance the melee. I don't think there's any, like, smart way to do this because the melee are just going to die no matter how we approach here. Alright, let's try to devour their cavalry as quickly as we can. And what is going to be the right approach? I mean, we have to move these units up the hill in order for them to get into range to fire, but like we have to advance on this side, because if we advance on this side, we're going to get cut to pieces by the archers. It's probably the case that we're in a lot of trouble in that regard, no matter what. Grendel the Boommaker is probably just gonna have to... Alright, I'm gonna try running through here. My guess is he's gonna draw a lot of ranged fire, and in some ways that's like a pretty good thing, actually. So he'll distract a lot of these archers. Let's also... So the Flaming Sword of Ruins, probably not smart to put up just yet. I don't know that he really has a move for the moment. We can try shooting some fire at these Jade Warriors with the halberds. Let's see. Let's see if the fireball lands in a meaningful way. It did some damage.
Finding the trail. Chasing prey. So I hunt.
That is wild that they just let me do that. Holy shit! Look at the damage on that initial charge. That is wild. Alright, get up there and stop the advance. Y'all just continue to eat cavalry. Y'all apparently did not move at all? They just elected not to execute any of their movement order. So that's fun. The enemy reacted to this push a little bit differently than I thought they were going to, and we are maybe actually going to be able to just... They took a lot of damage really fast there on their approach, way faster than I thought they were going to. Might be able to just get some shooting murders done here really fast. You probably shouldn't be doing this. Let's back you up. Actually, never mind. You are not even needed. The guns will handle all of them.
Firemouth's priest. The undefeated.
Why are you, like... They remember what their orders were, they just have no interest in executing them.
Run for it.
Yeah, and these Iron Blasters are really, as far as siege weapons go, really not too vulnerable to disruption.
Fire is
Like, the enemy has to be able to stay on them for quite some time, it seems like. So this is going badly. Let's get a little bit of magic over here. I think I'm going to go for the melee defense on these guys. And then I want to be able to pull... You know what? I'm just going to pull these units. They're not actually willing to chase anyway, so they're not really accomplishing anything by staying on the horses. May as well just push that, finish off those crane gunners. Those gorgers need to do this. Okay.
Iron Hail Gunners!
Let's try to get the Iron Hail Gunners up on this ridge.
repositioning. Lead belchers. Carve the meat.
Actually, if they just want to fight my halberds, I will allow them to fight my halberds.
Ogres.
I would consider this poor play on their part.
Boss ogre. Get it done! Watch me go! Hunt them down!
Yeah, these gorgers can come down the hill and just find some melee to eat or something. Oh, never mind. There's a target.
Iron hail gunners!
Okay, at this point,
Celestial fury!
Iron guts!
let's get my Celestial Dragon Guard back up the hill.
Hungry!
Stay on them, they're not permanently broken.
The more calls! Bring me the spoils! For the more!
Gosh, those Iron Guts are not faring well here. How did they manage to get on the wrong, like,
Scuba!
did the whole battle pick up and move to the right while we weren't looking? How is it possible that the Iron Guts are in between the Noblars and the enemy pikes? That shouldn't be even remotely possible. Also, why can I not select them? Oh, because they're panicked. That's a good reason. Okay, you did fine. You maybe overcommitted a little bit on that. Try to get back over here, please.
Praise the dragon!
Okay, you really shouldn't be standing all on top of each other like that. That's very dangerous.
Hunting! Suits me! The more! Lead belchers!
Okay, there we go. They're getting a much cleaner fire profile that way.
My chum! Vampire!
Praise the dragons! They will perish!
I want to make sure these troops don't count as getting away. You will not keep your war balloons. Absolutely not. Oh, y'all shoot at the war balloon too. Nothing lives.
Dragon guard!
I don't know if we're gonna be able to catch it. It's a little faster than we are. No, actually, we have one step on it. But
The quarry is mine!
what we can do here is throw up some abilities on it.
Rejoice in flame!
There we go. We're gonna get it. Aw. The fireball would have done the job, I'm sure. There you go. There's your harpoon. That'll show that mountainside. All right. One of their armies on this side down, and that is that's a pretty big deal because they do have 3 forces over there near the settlement, but only one of them is in condition to fight right now. And if they're sitting right on top of each other like that while they're doing their replenishment, they're all drawing from the same recruitment pools, so they won't be able to pull units in very quickly. And the combination of Malgut and the settlement garrison should be more than capable of handling the assembled troops right now. So this should have bought us some fair time. I'm not, by the way, sure at all why the settlement garrison from the village of the Tigermen wasn't a reinforcement in that battle, because like they should have been, right? We stayed close enough to the settlement for that to be the case intentionally. That was fully the point. But I don't know. Something about the failed ambush, maybe? Like the weird kind of fake ambush. It sucks, but sadly it is what we have to deal with. We didn't actually lose any units. 5%'s fair replenishment. We don't need the meat. We could really use the money, though.
No
I'm
good
gonna take the
waiting
money.
on 'em.
Oh, interesting. They absolutely should not be able to reach us in a single turn's movement. Okay, this time the settlement garrison's allowed to show up. I'm gonna fall back.
I ain't going.
It's gotta push us beyond their reach. Okay. And then we'll get obviously we'll get a turn of replenishment at the beginning of the round here. Oh, they left the army fully moved up. They didn't pull back at all. That maybe gives us an opportunity. I don't know if we're in a state to be able to win a fight against them, though. Okay, Bold Mallet Hands is really going for it. So Yeti Peak is mine. Bold Mallet Hands will have no settlements, so he'll suffer some attrition damage at the beginning of his turn, and we really need to close him up after that.
Don't worry. You're no
He
problem.
probably will be able to take that settlement. That is my concern, and that he will have a settlement and he will no longer be suffering the brutal attrition. So. If Kairos Fate Weaver didn't push up too much, then we can run Targog down. Okay. Good ambush stuff for you. Obviously, we're going to be stopping here in a moment. Fate Weaver didn't move up too much. But he moved up enough that he's definitely in position to attack.
Not that time.
And Targog is not able to get into position to... Well, you know what? Targog can come and get it. Not far enough. Okay, but what Targog can do is he can be up here and he can be a threat. Bold Mallet Hands has to know what is up.
Fire mouth mocks you.
And then we hit Yeti Peak. We probably want to do that battle manually. So I guess this is probably a good place to call it for the day. That is going to be it for us for today for Total War Warhammer 3. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we are going to finally actually close up this damn... What's the name of this faction? Blood Guzzlers problem. I can't believe we've had so much trouble with a bunch of guys that call themselves Blood Guzzlers. And then Chaos. And then Chaos is going to befall us in a couple of different ways. And you know what? Honestly, I'm very concerned about that. So come back next time to see if we can survive it. And we'll see you then.